Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Some of these videos might take a little longer to start producing. I'm going off of my phone service now instead of Wi-Fi, and one of my videos is taking 3 hours to upload. So, that's life. Anyway, so I was just sitting and petting Flash, my cat, and I was just thinking about certain things about like history and why there's cats everywhere in history. And in the past, I've researched about how cats and humans share a very interesting symbiotic relationship. They'll have you believe that dogs are man's best friend, and that women that own cats are crazy. But in actuality, in the midst of me just sitting there thinking, petting Flash, I was looking at him in his face, and I got the weirdest inkling. Like I could see. I don't want to say I could see a human in him, but I could see a baby person in him. I could see like the same thing I see when I look in chimps sometimes. And so I started to think about it. And so I decided to finally just Google it, right? According to multiple sources, cats and humans share 90% DNA. Cats and chimps, humans and chimps, share 96% DNA. In 2007, a study revealed that 90% of human and cat's genes are homologous, meaning that they were inherited from a common ancestor. So not only do many of us hold cats close to our hearts, but we're closely actually related to them, almost as close as apes. So you hear them saying all the time, apes, apes, monkeys, monkeys, but we come from cats also. When I say that, I'm not saying we solely evolved from cats. This is what I'm saying. I believe cats and chimps, or some form of chimps, began mixing at some point in time. Now listen to what I'm about to tell you. Hunter and gatherers. Apes gather for the most part. Chimps hunt, but apes gather. And cats hunt. If you pay attention to chimpanzees, us and chimpanzees, we have what's called canines, right? They call them canines. We have fangs. Why is that? Where do we inherit that from? Actually, if you pay attention to apes, I think a few of them do. And so we're always so quick to say what is and what we come from and all that. So pay attention to another thing I'm about to tell you. When cats scratch certain things, what ends up happening is they infect their host with a virus. Mice and rats and other insects, or other species of rodents, when they get scratched by cats, or when they come into contact with the cat's feces, they end up getting something called, I believe, some form of histo something. To where what ends up happening is the prey becomes more friendly to the cat, and the hormones are released to where they're not afraid of them anymore, and they come towards them. Well, I was thinking about that, and they have something for humans called cat scratch fever. Now, if you really pay attention, cats and humans have a very serious symbiotic relationship, and what would cause infection in most hosts actually brings us closer together. I'm not telling people to mess with cat poop, and I'm not telling people to get scratched by cats. I am proving a point. What I am saying is, I believe there's something much deeper to the symbiotic relationship between cats and humans and apes. Now, if you pay attention to some species, certain leopards, I think, in the jungle hunts chimps, but gorillas are much different and bigger apes. So what I was going to say is, I then found something else interesting. Right? Humans share more DNA with chimpanzees and bonobos than they do with cats, but cats and humans still share a significant amount of DNA. Humans share 98%, 99% with chimpanzees and bonobos, humans' closest living relatives, but also share 90% as an A, 90% of DNA with cats. Why is every generation, every century, we hear about humans and cats? If you do history in ancient Africa, they used cats to hunt. They sell dogs all the time. They used cats to hunt because when a cat is domesticated and trained, it'll come back to its master and it won't just run wild. Many people who have outdoor cats in this civilization, I don't exactly agree with, but to each their own. It could be torture in the house for a cat for certain people, so I don't know. But from what I can tell and gather, they even built sphinxes for these ancient cats and put on their hats and falcons. And if you pay attention to the Native American culture, they still do this sometimes. They use eagles to hunt wolves. Eagles aren't some I'm not trying to be racist, but European thing. I'm telling you it's not. Falcons and eagles are from warmer climates. I'm telling you they are. So I'm not saying they're just going around in the savannah hunting stuff. What I'm telling y'all is there are ancient things that we don't know about our own species and stuff. And the more I learn and gather information, the more interesting it becomes. Because outside of this, I'll prove to you that they're an ancient ancestor of ours. Because watch this. According to research, cats share a significantly lower percentage of DNA with gorillas, our cousins, right, who we're so close to. I don't know exactly what happened, but they're only 50 to 60% compatible with gorillas. Why is that? I don't know exactly what's going on. You see in Tarzan, how the ape was taking care of the human. I wasn't there, so I can't say exactly what happened in human history. But humans and cats are a lot thicker than what we think, if you catch my drift. So, I'm finding a lot out because they'll, even if you go into certain scientific fields, they'll say only gorillas, or they'll say apes and chimpanzees. Okay. A lot of people show that we share ancestors with a lot of different things, but they're not telling the exact truth. We share a lot of common DNA with a lot of these animals on this planet. So, not all of them, and me so far, I'm finding out babonos, chimps, and cats. So, I don't exactly know, but yeah, man, I thought this was really interesting from a scientific standpoint. And I'm still researching and learning a lot of different things to learn about our history. And I find it, back to Africa. They used cats to fight rodent infestations. So like grains and stuff and different things that would get tore up, or foods or different things. Cats would fight off rodents, which fought off famines and viruses and diseases. I'm telling you, they show in the news and in the media that Africa is like where all these viruses come from. It's so fucking hilarious. I find it hilarious. Now go research Europe and all the plagues and viruses and all that, every single one that was ever created, and then look at Africa for real, for real. Like it's interesting what I truly find out when I do true history and research. So I'm not trying to create hate speech or nothing, but I'm starting to understand why some of these Barnabases are trying so hard to hide the truth in history and destroy all other cultures and stuff. But they will be stopped. They have been stopped, and they're going to continue to be exposed. If you watch a movie called Inglourious Bastards, and how when they let that German soldier live and he had the mark on him or whatever, I don't do that in real life. The marks I leave, you all will be known forever in history. Like how they thought it was going to be some mystical thing. It was supposed to be 616, 613 laws plus an ark. Now they're marked forever, the mark of the beast. But in doing so, what also happened? Now the Babylonians wanted to join alongside, so now they sit on top of the beast, right? The Talmud, the Gemara, they just had to put the 10 Commandments and steal from Africa and African culture and steal from steals and act like they were some anointed ones. And the irony is they're Polish and German. Known, marked. So, anybody else that like to play in this Zionist Nazi buffoonery, they're named Ashkenazi, because I'll manipulate a language, have everybody thinking they're speaking something totally new and anointed, and then when people look back in history and read what their names meant, they'll be like, holy shit, they were mocked by the Lord. Have a blessed day. Oh, before I go, anybody else that keeps talking about the firmament, all this other stuff, that are taking spiritual teachings and ideologies and things for times of periods, watch this. How many species of humans have we found? They can take religion and science, create a whirlwind, and try to destroy your minds, or you can learn the truth. Watch this. More than 20 hominin species that are a part of our tree. Well, they got that prophetic Moses in a speech. There have been around 15 to 20 different species of early humans. So what I want to tell y'all, even when dealing with that, you can look at Yehohanan like Moses. He bared the pain. He couldn't get into the promised land because they was all Viking and pagans and violent. Not even Vikings yet, but violent pagans. Then now Joshua is trying to lead y'all back into the promised land. Logic and understanding and truth, so we can hit singularity, go into fascinating, amazing scientific futures and truthful, spiritually amazing futures. Because I keep trying to tell y'all, man, you guys are taking Egyptian stuff and destroying yourselves. So now, let's say Canaanite twins. Now an African man mixed with that foolishness and another African man mixed with this foolishness has to come help y'all. So, like I told y'all, he was the lamb in terms of dealing with that. I am like the fire. It's time, and I am here to redeem and refine. So take that how you want to. Keep telling y'all we are all humans. We are all loved ones. The name of God is Nini, and Earthles. What does that mean? Where does that come from? Denisovans. Where does that come from? Asiatic people. So like when I say racism, like because you guys don't understand, Neanderthals and Denisovans were Caucasians and Asians. And they almost got genocided by their own people until they mixed into a faction of humanity. Now watch this. What percentage of European are Neanderthal DNA? Sorry, my it's almost the end of the month, so my phone bill is gonna re-update. But until it does, I use the old plan until the month's end. So, all right. On average, 1 to 2 Neanderthal, 1 to 2%. It's more than that. I don't want to argue people, but the point is, we only share 1% DNA with other humans, but 90% with chimps and cats. Like if y'all don't. They want y'all to think this Bible is real. They're trying to create lures and stuff for the future, I'm telling you. So what I'm telling y'all, someone who actually has lived through this and trying to lead you all righteously, if Europeans have at least 1 to 2% Neanderthal DNA, and all Europeans, how much African DNA is in all humans? Give it a second. When you're not rich, you have to succumb to the data plans. No, look, African, it's even lesser. The percentage of African is 0.5 to 0.75%. So that means everybody has African in them, which means Neanderthals and Denisovans did too. Right, so what percentage of Asians are Denisovan DNA? I'm sure I'm spelling that wrong, but just bear with me. Like I tell all of you people who are well off and you're like, my life sucks and blah, 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 you better go watch some videos and understand the real world. Enjoy what you have. According to current research, East Asians 1 to 0.5% Denisovan DNA in their blood. We're all humans, dude. They keep coming up with more and more Europeans, Anglo-Saxons, African American, Yahawashiyans. A little reveal for anybody else who is confused. This was the crucified man. There was a Moses and an Elijah. Joshua was to come redeem any of this. They will probably say, I am John the Baptist resurrected. Who knows? But what I'm telling y'all is this is the crucified man. The more I reveal this, the more Moses is, even from Jewish people, it's all stories. Moses isn't real. It's an algorithm. I heard Dan McClellan say King David might be homosexual. Like, the more I reveal that these people were African and Egyptian, Senesses, King David, Pseudo-Dionysus, the Greek Christos, got his name from an African, Amenemope, the instructions of Amenemope, Solomon. But the more I reveal these people were African and fighting Semitic people and nothing to do with European blood, because the Neanderthals was up in Europe fighting their own battles, I'm telling you all, the more they're going to make this myth. Hey, you know what? A friend of mine said one time, he said, you can never defeat this system. How does it end? I'm trying to show you all how it ends. Start showing Africans and people of color, whatever they may be, nationality, of being brilliant as I am. Show the truth about our wisdom and intellect. And then show how some people are just books that are vainly repeating the same repetitive information and knowledge generation after generation because they cannot create on their own for some reason. And it's not their fault. Since the introduction of the Pope in the Roman Church, people in Europe have been getting their brains beat in by the Pope. I'm trying to tell y'all, if y'all will listen to Africans, we're trying to defeat these powers that be. Help us. But anyways, like I was saying, the irony of it all is, how do you defeat supremacists? Start showing them brilliant people of color. Then it'll go from saying scripts to, oh no, look, we have knowledge too, we have information. Why would they all of a sudden have a problem with Trump and pull that fiasco with Trump? Why all of a sudden are all these Republicans mad at Trump? Because they see this nigga is a fucking genius. And so now they trying to turn the sands of time and bring their intellectuals out. Oh, I heard they got rid of Candace Owens recently again. Oh boy. So show them your intellect, and that's how they'll feel the disrespect. Show them we aren't these thugs that just shoot, kill, destroy. And you'll see how they become the toys. I told y'all, some people are prophesying against themselves. I don't know the full extent of our power, but certain things we say and do lead to beautiful lives, and other things we say and do, we're being sarcastic. I'm telling you, y'all know not the power you have.